Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing today? Today is a very special live stream and because we have a certain Mr. X on the show. Uh, Nikita, what do you think of Mr. X?
I think he's very mysterious, very
Yes,
mysterious. But
yes.
I hope you will like him,
For
guys.
somebody to for somebody to go as Mr. X, say is somebody
Yeah.
who's awesome. Dev, what did you think of Mr. X?
I think people are waiting for him, anticipating
Yeah.
because
Well,
it's been a mystery.
by the way, let's let the cat out of the bag now. I have only wonderful words to say about Mr. X. Mr. X is a person that I know as a friend for over 3 years. He's the best dad I could ever met. He loves his children as much as I do love mine. He works hard. He's an excellent English teacher, and he's fascinated by Spanish. But actually, he's not from the United States. He's from England. And the last fact before I let go his name, he's crazy about Spanish. And I we have a project together that is on hold that I really love. He's the one, the only Gino. Welcome, sir. How are you today?
Very good, man. It's good to see you. Nice to be
Good to
back.
see you too. Good
Thanks
to
for the
see you
invite.
too.
Thanks for the invite. It's nice to have a catch up, you know? It's nice to
Of
see.
course. Of course. How was it for you to come back and be here with us for a visit? I know that you've been busy. Tell us how everything is going with you, please.
Yeah, it's strange to be back on a live stream. I've got the nerves, you know, because I've not recorded any videos for
Hmm.
how long has it been, Rod? Is it 2 years? I've not made a video
That
for.
you don't record?
I
No,
don't know, man.
I think it's a little bit less. I think it's close to 1 year, but that's not that much. You
Yeah,
know.
so obviously I've not been uploading. So yeah, it's a little bit strange to be back on a live stream, but I'm
Hmm.
in good company. I'm in good company.
Yeah,
It's
and I.
nice to meet your two friends as well.
Hmm.
Yeah,
And I
yeah,
think
nice to
that
meet you
it's
too.
your first podcast ever. You've never been to a podcast before.
Never done a podcast before, mate. No, never, never.
I had the idea because this Nikita's a very dear friend of mine as well. We had the idea for the podcast based on Dev's show that we had, and then I said to Nikita, let's do it and let's invite friends. And I told Nikita, Gina's gonna be there, but I have to invite him first and see if it's going to really happen, if he's not so busy. And here you are. And thank you so much for doing this. I know that you have a lot on your plate right now. So, as you like to say, let's get cracking. So, Navid, what is the first question, my friend?
Again. You always call me David.
Navid, Nikita. I can
Uh,
cut. I don't know why I'm calling you Navid because our friend Navid. I always call you Navid. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
yeah. Just okay. So I think to start with, Gina, I'd like to ask you, what is friendship in your opinion?
Okay, yeah. So
Just briefly.
yeah, that's fine. Friendship is really important, and I think
Mm-hmm.
um, I didn't know you was going to ask me these questions today, by the way. So I've had no chance to prepare. But um,
Okay.
so for me, my idea of what friendship is has changed over the years a lot, and
Mm-hmm.
I realised that um, friendship is about it's people who have genuinely your best interests at heart. It's also people who will hold you accountable. I think there's got to be accountability there. You know, I think a, a friend, and I try to do this with my friends as well, is a friend is someone who will tell you the truth even if it's uncomfortable. if you need to change something about yourself, or there's something you're doing that is not in your best interest, then a true friend will tell you that. Another thing is as well is that a true friend won't just allow you to say things and then not take action on them. So if you keep saying, "Oh, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that," and then you don't do it, a true friend will call you out on that and hold you accountable, you know, and have some form of accountability. So yeah, true friendship is about accountability, support, and obviously is to try and learn off each other as well.
So you might say that it's a bit like a relative, you know, someone who watches over you, and if you don't do something, although you promised to do it, then we'll call you and say, "Well, why don't you do it?" I see.
Yeah, of course, because there's a lot of people you come across in life, and they'll, you know, associates. I call them associates, but they don't really have your best interests at heart. You know, they're only interested if it helps them meet their needs. So, for example, if they want to go out and do something, then they might call you because they need somebody to go with. But other than that, they're not interested. You know. I think you've got to watch for that in today's day and age, and you've got to choose your friends wisely. I think because you know and you've got to be careful as well with trying to pull people up. If there's a lot of people in the world today who are really negative, right? And if you're trying to pull people up all the time, like somebody who is determined not to improve their lives or not to change the behaviors, and we all need to do that to a certain degree. We've all got little behaviors that we need to change, but you can never pull somebody up unless they want to be pulled up. But the reverse is not true. Somebody negative or bad can pull a good person down. The reverse is not true. So you've got to be careful. You've got to keep your eyes open and use your head.
You know, they say keep your eyes peeled.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
I totally agree, because a friend is somebody who you not only can rely on, but you have to trust in. You know, and I have a friendship with Gino, which is a little more than 3 years now, and that's why that when I tell you something about distance, that you can be friends with someone even though if you are at the other side of the world, that's really true, and he always comes to my mind, because it doesn't matter that he lives in Manchester and I live in Brazil. We keep texting and talking on the phone, or we have a solid friendship. And and when I told him to come to the podcast, I said only come if you feel free, if you feel comfortable with. Don't come to it because of me. He said no, I'm fine. uh, I can come and be with you guys. So I think this is really friendship. You can rely but also trust in the person you're talking to. So for me, this is 100%. So what is the second question?
Okay. So the second, well, it's not gonna be a question really.
Hmm.
I would like to ask Gina just to tell maybe a story, something that has happened to you, maybe something that has happened to you in Rod. Maybe you could also tell us how you met. That would be cool because, well, the first episode, what we did, we kind of talked about it, like how we met
Hmm.
and how we know each other.
Hmm.
So yeah, if you could, Gina, please.
Let me
Yeah.
see if
So
Gino remembers how we met.
So it was. So you wanted a story first, didn't you? Like a funny
Yeah,
story or
Yeah,
something like that.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So here in the UK, the work culture, when you're working in a place, the work culture is quite.
Hmm.
Um, we have something you'll have heard the word. We call it banter, where you kind of
Oh
wind
yeah.
each other up because it gets you through the day, you know. And
Yep.
I used to work at this place. I'm not going to tell you where it was, and I'm not going to mention any of the names in the story, right? But I used to work at this place, and me and my friend is actually my second cousin. We're related as well. We only found that out though once we'd been working with each other. Then we discovered that his mum and my mum are cousins, so we're second cousins, as you say in English. We was working at this place together, and we used to pull pranks on people all the time. You know, like we used to do these pranks, and they had this new phone system installed, and what they did was they give everybody a sign in, which was just your name. And then the default password, I remember it was 1234, right? So what you meant to do is you meant to change your password so then nobody else can sign in as you, right? But nobody ever did. Nobody ever did. And you could sign in on any phone as somebody else if you had their password. So my friend, he used to sign in as the general manager for the site. He used to sign in as him. And then he used to call the top boss, the managing director of the whole business. And when the guy answered on the phone, he'd make the sound of a cow down the phone, right? So he'd go moo, and then he'd put the phone down, right, and then log out. And then you could see from where we was both the offices. So you'd see the guy pick the phone back up, and then you'd see him ring the guy who had signed in us. And you can just imagine the conversation. Why did you ring me and moo down the phone? And you could see the guy going, I didn't ring you. I don't know what I'm on about.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so
good one.
another one we used to do was, and I don't actually know who did this one, but there's a long corridor and there was a canteen at the bottom, and behind that there's like a cloakroom, and the cloakroom is where people put the coats and the bags and stuff. So there was a vending machine in the room next door. So I goes down and I wanted a bar of chocolate out of the vending machine, and I could hear all this commotion going on in the room next door. So I opened the door and there's this guy. I'm not going to say his name, and he's trying to get his bag off the bench because do you know what a zip ties are? Yeah,
yeah.
The plastic zip ties. Well, somebody had zip tied his bag to the bench, but they must have put about 150 zip ties on there. It was ridiculous. So he's trying to get these zip ties off his bag, and I'm laughing already. You know, I'm like in stitches, absolutely splitting my sides. He managed to get his bag off.
Yes.
And then he took his coat off the hanger, and he went to put his coat on, and as he put his arm down the sleeve, somebody had zip tied the bottom of his sleeve. So he's trying to get his hand into this jacket. I was crying, laughing. I couldn't.
But I can tell you, I remember that when I started my YouTube channel some 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, I remember approaching Gino to record. First, I saw his content on YouTube, and I used to leave comments, and I thought that they were really, really useful and creative. And I remember telling him, I forgot about time zone, and I told him 9 a.m. works for me. And he said, okay, 9 a.m. works for me. But I totally forgot that he was in the UK and I was in Brazil, and there was a time zone. And when I woke up like 8 something, he said, I was waiting for you and you didn't show up. But then I checked that his 9 a.m. would be 5 a.m. for me, so I would be sleeping. And then I said, oh, I'm really sorry. Can I go now? And he said, no problem. And then I told him the story of the channel. And then we recorded the first interview. And then he brought me to his channel. And then we started talking. That was the story when we met, because we have the same sense of humor. We like the same things. We are very positive about each other. And we became friends. And we are like this ever since. That's how we really met and how the friendship goes. It's really awesome. Yeah.
That's
But
great.
I did the worst thing ever. I was waiting for you at 9 a.m. I said, "Oh my God, it was there was a time zone, but I didn't. I forgot about the time zone. You guys know how I am with time zones. I never know if it's 6 a.m., 6 p.m. I never know. but
Yeah.
that's how we met, and we are since then.
Mm.
Rodrigo's timekeeping is impeccable, though. Usually he's impeccable. If
Yes.
Rod says he's going to call you at 7, he calls you at 7. Yeah, not
No,
1 minute past, not
yeah,
not 1 minute to
yeah.
7 o'clock.
I am an
Yeah.
Englishman at heart.
Yeah, man, I agree, totally
You know.
agree.
Yeah. So what
Okay.
is
Okay.
Dev? Do you have any question? Do you have any question, Dev? Do you want to ask something? You're muted.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Actually, I didn't prepare any questions for him, but I just uh, want him to just share some of the beautiful moments of his life, like the memorable moments of his life.
Yeah, so
It may be like with his family, travel, or anything you want to share.
I mean, the obviously I've got 2 daughters, so the most memorable moment of my lives is when them two were born. Really, that's something that'll change you forever. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
I reminisce a lot about my childhood and stuff, and I had a good childhood. I got in some trouble sometimes,
Hmm.
but there were many moments, but I think the most important one is definitely the birth of my children.
Hmm.
100%.
Yes. I agree. I gotta say that some time ago I saw a picture of Gino's dad, and his father his father's double. He's just like his father. I looked at this and I saw this is how he's gonna be when he's older, because they are the same person. If you look, they are the same person, and I really look like my dad as well. But I can relate to that because he's just the same as his dad. And one other thing, Gino, that I would like you to tell everybody, how did your parents came up with your name? Because your name is Italian and you're English. How did they
Yeah, I think
came up? Yeah.
yeah, I think they were smoking some kind of drugs, right?
Okay.
Oh my God.
Jokes aside, I don't know if you know, but there's a song called Geno. It's not spelt the same though. It's spelled Geno. It's
Yeah.
by the Dexys Midnight Runners. I don't know if you know it.
Mm-hmm. I know because you showed me, and it was inspired by this group, and it was amazing. And also, to finish, what is the last one? Nikita. What is the last one?
Well, it's actually the one that you wanted to know.
Uh-huh.
I, I mean, well, we were talking about this, right? Like, there is
Mm-hmm.
a lot of discussion about this
Mm-hmm.
topic, like,
Yes.
well, about teachers, native speakers and let's say non-native speakers. So I just and there's a lot of negative about it, like a lot of criticism, and people say really controversial things, And so I just I just like to ask you, Gina, is it worth it? I mean, all this, you know,
War that's going on.
well, it's fast, really, It's
Mm-hmm.
just a lot of talking, a lot of
Mm-hmm.
controversy. Yeah, controversy. You say, right?
Yeah, controversy. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I, I think if you're based and you're grounded in what you're doing, then why do you feel the need to kind of put other people down? But as a language student myself, Rodrigo will tell you that I've got I wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
call myself. People tell me sometimes that I'm fluent. People say, "Oh, you're fluent in Spanish," but I use the word fully conversational because sometimes I need to I need to go through a question asking process to get where I want to be, or I need to tell somebody to explain something a different way, and then I'll
Mm-hmm.
understand it. But
Yeah.
going to non-native teachers, right? So people who don't speak English or who as a native language, or who don't speak Spanish, or who don't speak whatever language it is, and they're teaching it. Personally, I have the utmost respect for them people because in order to teach a language at that level, you have to have put some serious time into learning it. Um, but you know, in with regards to the controversy and this putting people down and all that, I can't condone that, and I won't. And I don't agree with that kind of behaviour. I think it's just wrong to to go on a public platform and put somebody down and say you shouldn't be listening to this person and this, that, and the other. I think that's completely wrong, and it shouldn't be happening. Is my opinion.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, I'd go along with you.
And I have one last question for you. What do you think about when people record videos? Don't say this, don't say that. Like I see a lot of videos of people saying, "Don't say how are you?" If we say it all the time, say that, because it brings some kind of the person thinks that their teacher are teaching them wrong. They shouldn't say that. What do you think of that? What do you think of those clickbait videos?
Yeah, I think I don't agree with them either.
Uh-huh.
I don't agree with them. You know, don't say this and don't say that and don't do this and don't do that.
Hmm.
If
Hmm.
you can communicate what you want to communicate to someone and they understand you, you're doing an
Hmm.
amazing job. And that's all you need to. That's all you need to worry about.
Yes.
Um, you know, you'll know I make mistakes when I speak Spanish all the time, but people understand what I'm saying. And sometimes I'll say something that's not right, and I know it's not right. Maybe maybe I need to ask a question to get there. But sometimes I say things that are not right, and I know it's not right. More so when I first started. So when I first started, I would say ridiculous things. Really, I'd say instead of conjugating the verb because I didn't know how to conjugate,
Hmm.
I'd just use the verb in its standard form for everything. So I'd say things
Hmm.
like tomorrow to eat. It's not right. No, it's not right. But the
Hmm.
person understood what I was saying, and now
Hmm.
we
Exactly.
can have
Yeah.
a conversation. So no,
Hmm.
Rodrigo, I don't agree with that either. Don't say this and don't say that.
Yeah.
Don't say how are you. Why not?
Yes.
It's English. People will
Hmm.
understand. And I
Hmm.
think if you're communicating and people understand what you're saying and you're
Yeah.
able to converse,
Yeah, I
good
agree
job.
because I once I told that to Gino over the phone. My son says things that I don't understand. And I turn to him and I say, Portuguese, please. Because he uses language that I don't know. And he's only 15, and I say, Portuguese, please. And he says, oh, okay, I said this, you know, and it's not good for a 45-year-old man like me to use slangs or new expressions that a 15-year-old uses. So that's what I think it's appropriate to use the language that your age, that from your age, like use the slangs that my son uses today. For me, I can't use them because it's not cool. I would be like a no dad joke. No, it wouldn't be cool, so that's what I say. I agree with Gino 100%. And sometimes Deb asks me, I should do this, I should say this. I say, and I always tell him, do what you want to do and the way that you feel comfortable with. So that's why I wanted to bring Gino here because not only he's a friend, but he has a lot of knowledge. What is the name of the series of the videos that you have on your channel where you will explain the difference of things with like folding up and fold that you use a kitchen uh, stuff to tell people? What is the name of the series of those videos, Gino?
Oh, I can't remember off the top of my head. I'd
Hmm.
have to go and look at that.
Well, I
Is
can
it is
I
it through
can
the
put
eyes of a native speaker or
yeah, through the
something
eyes
like
of a
that?
native speaker.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So he explains the difference between fold and fold up, and it's very fun and very useful to do. Let me see. There's a comment that from Maga here. Let's see if I can bring. I can. I think they feel you as an English teachers can also differently, not a routine way about how are you. Anything else? You want to go with this one, Gino? Wanna?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Hi, Mega. By the way, it's a long time no speak. I used to
Mm-hmm.
speak to her quite regularly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I agree with you. To build your vocabulary is a good
Mm-hmm.
thing, but I think what Rodrigo's point was is that you don't want to be telling people don't say this. Like you can't say how are you. Of course you can say how
Mm-hmm.
are you. There are more ways
Yeah.
to say it, and it's good to build your vocabulary and learn them things as well. But
Mm-hmm.
I think it's the titles of the video that's maybe not the
Mm-hmm.
best. It's not
Mm-hmm.
worded the best. Other
Mm-hmm.
ways to say how are you? Why not that? Instead of giving people anxiety, saying don't say this because everyone's going to think you're rubbish at speaking English. It's not true. It's not true. I say
Yeah.
how are you every day.
and
Yeah, good
also
point.
and also badgering their teachers, then you're teaching me wrong, and we know we're not, so because I saw in a video that they say this or they say that. But well, to finish, Dev, you want to say something before we go, before we allow Mr. Rax to leave?
Yeah, actually, you brought an amazing guy to this podcast this
Mm-hmm.
Saturday. I
Mm-hmm.
really enjoyed his company, and as you said, that he's amazing.
Mm-hmm. Nikita.
Yeah, just wanted to say, well, once again, Gina, thank you. It's awesome, seriously, to just chat with you a little bit, and I think everybody will appreciate it. You know,
Yes. And I really have to say that the only thing that I want from you is that you come to Brazil as soon as possible, and that I know it meant a lot for me and for us, because I know that you did it, because I asked you to do it, and you at the moment you said, I'm in, I'm gonna do it, and I'm so happy. And it only proves that we have a solid friendship. And the first time that you said that you used the expression, I am here with my brother from another mother, I never forgot that. And every time that I see you, every time that we talked about your daughters, every time we talk about my kids, I always think that you're part of the family, and I'm always going to be here for you. You know that. And I would really like to say thank you to be here today, for being
No,
here today.
do you know something, Rod? The pleasure's all mine, mate.
Yeah,
Thanks for inviting me.
yeah,
It's good to come and have a chat. It's been nice to meet Dev,
yeah,
obviously, and Nikita as well.
yeah.
Dav, the company I work for it's an aerospace company. We supply metal into the supply chain, and we've actually got a site in India. I've never been to India, but I think in the future there might be some opportunity for me to travel there. So I'm looking forward to that. I've never been to Russia either. I hope I can get there. There's so many places I want to
well,
go.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
The next place I'm going, actually, I want to go to Cali in Colombia. I'm
okay,
going there. My target is to go there in October. I've never been to South America, so yeah, I've been speaking to. I've got language partners from all over the world, but I've been speaking to a girl who lives in Cali for 3.5 years now, and I'm going to take some action. I'm going to go and see her. I'm going to go
Yeah.
see the
mm.
girls. So
So
Yeah.
you're gonna speak Spanish, right?
yeah, of course, man.
I see.
So he's
I
getting
see.
close to Latin America, so he's closer to me. Let's hope that next time he
It's
lands in
Brazil.
Brazil, So but Gino, thank you once again. I know that you're
No,
really
thank you.
busy, and we wish you all the very best. And you know that I'm always here for you. Thank you for being here today. Thank you, everybody watching. If you're watching it live, thank you. If you're watching it at home, the recorded version, thank you as well. It's always a pleasure. And I am really happy because we are receiving a lot of invitations of people who want to come on the podcast. And we are
Yeah,
booked up to August, but we're going to analyze everything. And I would like to tell before we go that officially now, um, Dev is a member of Friends Are Us. So he's going to be on the stage with us every Saturday. But I loved all the podcasts, but this one was really special to me because Gino is a brother to me. Really, we are not blood brothers, but I think it's even better, because sometimes you might have a blood brother and they're not the same kind of people that Gino is to me, and I think that I am to him as well. So it's awesome.
Hey,
Thank
I just
you.
want to say, Rod, before
Yeah,
you go as
sure,
well, I just want to say,
sure.
make sure you continue doing the great work that you're doing on YouTube. Because
Thank you.
you're doing some amazing stuff, and I hope that God blesses this particular project for you, bro, because you
Thank you.
deserve it. You deserve it. You work hard, and you deserve to reap the benefits of what you've
Yeah,
been sowing out there. So
thank you so.
I pray for you every day, brother.
And also, likewise, man, likewise. And also, when you're ready to get back, Great is gonna be back together.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah. I'll be
Great.
back one day. I've no doubt
Yeah,
about that. Yeah.
for sure. Eventually, you will, and Great is gonna be back. Great was our videos, our shows, and I really like that project so much. So thank you so much, man, for everything that you do. You're amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. Guys, thank you so much.
Yep.
Everybody watching at home, thank you. See you next week. Bye bye. Thank you. See you later.